Hello everyone, I'm Danielle with Trinity Readings. We are going to do the Taurus Weekly Tarotscope. Keep in mind these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you find that the reading doesn't resonate, you can always check your moon, rising, or Venus placements, because sometimes those will resonate more. And I do offer personal readings. You can get all that information in the description box. All right, let's see what y'all got going on this week. I'm just going to start by getting some message cards for you, and then we'll see what comes up with your tarot reading. A lot of healing and understanding can be done right now by looking at your relationships, by looking at what's going on in your relationships with other people, not just romantic, any close relationships that you have right now. There's a lot being reflected back to you. Especially in terms of like how you see yourself and how you perceive yourself. Other people are reflecting to you I kind of feel like negative feelings that you might have within yourself, or even like self-worth issues. So like if within your relationships, if you feel like, your partner is not valuing you enough, if you feel like your partner is lacking respect for you, if you feel like your partner sees you as unattractive, it's not necessarily anything that that person is doing. It's more something that you are feeling within yourself. I kind of feel too like you might not be seeing things in the correct perspective right now, because your confidence is a little bit lower. Or be mindful that you're not assuming the worst in a situation, because your ego has been kind of hit a little bit, or your pride has been hit a little bit. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. I also feel like for some of you, if you're dealing with any kind of like difficult interactions with other people, like having to have serious conversations, or having a lot of arguments, or trying to get something resolved by having a conversation, make sure that it's not getting to that space where it's just you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. Like make sure and make sure the other person's not doing that to you. Make sure that it's not, that you're not like really avoiding what needs to be talked about. Make sure you're getting to the core of like your feelings of what's going on. I definitely feel like it's really important to kind of take a step back and just look at the dynamics that are within your relationships, the roles that are even being placed in your relationships. It's almost like it's like there's potential to bring healing to your relationships, to expand in your relationships, no matter how things may appear right now. And I'm not even recommending to, try to fix any like toxic relationships. I'm not saying that, but it's almost like you need to take note of the role that you automatically step into when you get into a relationship, or even maybe the role that you might have been like, thrown into because of certain circumstances. But it's almost like you get into relationships and it becomes like one person like is completely codependent on the other person, or one person is in a weaker position than the other one person is like too open to be controlled by the other. But I feel like instead of looking at it in the aspect of I'm attracting a lot of shitty toxic people, I think it's important to be mindful that you're not unknowingly stepping into a certain role, when you get into a connection, just out of routine or out of habit or out of um, a belief system that you hold, or even a perception that you hold about yourself. You might feel that you might have a feeling that you're not really worthy. You might feel like you have to work harder to prove your worth to another person. And just having that feeling, you're going to step into a relationship, treating it a different way, handling it a different way. And I kind of feel like there is a need to distance yourself from your relationships for a little bit of time in order to kind of see this and understand this. I do kind of feel that I kind of feel that some of you may need to examine if the relationships you have are leaning more towards being trauma bonds than healthy relationships, or if they've been sitting in such a vulnerable place that it's almost like it's becoming like a power struggle. You don't want this to turn into like a codependent relationship or a toxic relationship or a relationship even that you're like just giving all of your energy to. But I want to point out that whether these relationships like move forward or not, it's like there's something of value to be seen in what is going on in your relationships. And it's valuable to take time to really look at it and look at how you're stepping into relationships and whether you're seeing things through, you know, maybe like a lower self-worth, or maybe you stepped into this relationship during a time that you were feeling you know, less than confident in yourself, and the relationship maybe needs to change based on you seeing yourself from a higher perspective. Yeah, it seems like you're at this place where it's like this is a big shift in your love life, or a big shift in your path in general. You're in this Six of Cup phase in your love life, but what's in front of you is that lover's phase, that next level relationship, that next level love, that next level in the relationship that you're in. But there's something that it's not being looked at in the right perspective. Like there's a lot of like inner child like there's inner child work that has been avoided, or there's inner child issues, wounds that are affecting it. Or there's this choice that needs to be made and it's being avoided. But it's also an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to gain something of more value right now. And I don't feel like it's necessarily within the relationship itself. I feel like it's more in what you have to learn. Or I feel like maybe that's how to get through this challenge, is not look at so much on what the future is or what can be done, but like what can you learn? What can you learn from this situation? I also feel like things are being looked at in a very practical sense right now, and there's a need to kind of look inward and look at it more in an emotional sense. Feel your way through it. Be more receptive to what is going on. or what you're feeling or what your experience is in this. I also feel like you've been very firm in your goals, or very committed on your path, or very set in a certain way of doing things, or wanting to see things manifest in a certain way. And I almost feel like it's in too much of a practical sense that you need to kind of be open to the emotional aspect of it, to the spiritual aspect of it, to the higher perspective of it. Because I feel like you've emotionally detached yourself so much that you're not getting the clarity that you need from this. Because I kind of feel like you're stuck, or you're avoiding making some sort of decision, or you feel that somebody you're connected to is avoiding making some sort of decision. And it's like the minute that you're able to see what learn the lesson in this, or see what it is that you need to learn from this situation, it's like it's there, it moves forward. The opportunity to move forward is there. You already have the opportunity to move on the path. It's already there. You're either not seeing it right now, or you're not trusting it, or it's being avoided. But the minute you see what this is, the minute you learn, the minute you're able to integrate the physical and emotional understanding, it's just like bam. Also, I feel like it's very important to be very clear with what your feelings are, with what your needs are, with what your desires are in terms of a relationship. Be very clear with that. And if you're dealing with another person, I feel like it's important to be very open and very honest about what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're wanting in a relationship. Yeah, it's like I feel like it's important to be very clear in what you want in a relationship. Be willing to speak on what you think is fair. And at the same time, be willing to listen to the other person. And if you don't feel that you can address that with the other person, then be willing to be clear with it within your own mind, um, and in your own heart, and be willing to accept only that and nothing else. All right. Have a good week. Bye bye.